but I'm glad I'm not a steward, put it that way.
Yeah, unfortunately, David Ward a part of it, Lewis Ward a part of it as well. Both the Wards have been having a bit of a torrid day so far, unfortunately. Sad to see them a part of this incident as well. So yeah, Clement Andriot also involved in this. But let's put that aside. Let's focus on the here and now. Because the here and now is that cars are absolutely being donked over at that chicane. Justin Rem just defended a position with 2 wheels off in the air. That's how crazy a corner that is. Look at this. This proper kerfuffle is lighting up an amazing battle. I think they're going to go 3 wide here.
I'm going to let you in on a Scottish word here, and it is basically the Scottish for kerfuffle. This is a bruch, is what we call this. It means a bit of a mess. There's cars everywhere. Whoa, who's that gone off? That's Justin Rem, I think. Gone very deep into turn 1. No. Orange wheels, one of the Volante cars. I think it is Rem. Yes, it is. I was waiting for the time. Yes, it was Justin Rem. I should trust my intuition a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, yeah. And one man who's been trusting his intuition quite a lot has been Kirill Kolobuksov here. Unfortunately, having that incident in his heat race, now here with a point to prove. To the outside line, he goes for the wild animals teams, and quite often it hasn't quite worked out too well for him in situations like this one. Now this time, thankfully clean, but not getting the position he really wants to. So what does Kirill Kolobuksov do? He says, I go for the cutback, and the Schumacher S's, they are properly nose to tail here, Peter. And the key part is, this is for the final slot. If Kolobuksov does not get that position in, that's it, that's his weekend done. He does not move into the feature race. This one matters.
Oh, but he's... Tell you what, Nelson Costa de Souza did very, very well to tough that one out, because he was in a really vulnerable position there, and Kolobuksov actually, just to be giving him his credit, he didn't open the steering up. He made sure just to get a little bit of contact, and then thought, oh well, maybe we're biting off a little bit more than we can chew here. But Kolobuksov looking very, very racy indeed in the 55 car. But I just think that this doesn't necessarily have to be the battle for the final spot in the feature, because there's bound to be stuff going on ahead as well. But tell that to Kirill Kolobuksov, he's thinking, no, I'm making my way through in a hurry. And very cleverly, Costa de Souza makes sure to take the inside line. Kolobuksov a little bit later on the brakes, he's going to have to go the long way around. Can he make it work? De Souza, oh, is he going to try and get into this? It's very tight. Oh my goodness me. Great racing, and Costa de Souza just gets run a little bit wide there and has to give best. And Kolobuksov gets the position for now, as we see Henrik Lichtenhagen going by on Westcop Cycle.
Yes, Henrik Lichtenhagen making a bit of a crazy error, as I described it in the last particular race of the Panda Racing team. Good to see him getting some confidence and making some good moves. Winner of the AM category the last time out at Imola. And speaking of the AM category, by the way, it's a bit of a big battle going on right now, because Matthias Berg for the AXS SimSport team, he was able to make it to the feature race directly. So was Thomas Gulder-Lyon, but not Marcel Jochheim. So what does one Marcel Jochheim, the leader of the AM Championship, do? He goes in and puts the best possible consolation race that he can possibly have. Currently in P number 2, Marcel Jochheim, with only 0.4 of a second behind Rebecca Pauline. So if Jochheim can get this one position, he'll be far, far closer to the likes of Gulder-Lyon, to the likes of Burke, and perhaps even Nick Howard of the Racecraft Esports team in a bid to defend his AM Championship lead. They've got big prizes for that championship too. It really matters quite a lot here.
Oh, yeah, you bet it does. You bet it does. And this has been a superb drive from both Rebecca Pauline and Marcel Jochheim. Absolutely flawless so far. And don't forget, they've got huge pressure from behind from Sentin-Sioglu, one of the fastest drivers in this championship, with an I rating of nearly 6,000. So it's the front at the consolation race, absolutely incredible.
It's crazy to call it a consolation race when you see the kind of drivers that are taking part in this. You know, when you take a look at their capabilities, and I don't count I rating as the right measure, to see the driver's talent, because, oh goodness me, I'll come to that in a little bit, because there is a bit of a crazy incident going on. Mike Wisopskaika losing his slot in the feature race, Peter.
Oh, that's a big incident there. I'm going to refrain from saying mistake because it might not have been. We don't know. But Mike Wisopskaika, that's huge. With 11 minutes to go, he's now got a whole lot of work to do to try and get back into those top 10 positions. You don't want to be going into the final laps relying on a mistake in front. You want to make sure you're there, and if you get freebies, great, you get a slightly better position on the grid in the feature race. So Hendrik Lichtenhagen 8th, Kolobuksov 9th, Nelson Costa de Souza in the Tamaro Ketchup mobile. He is holding that last spot to the ball at the moment.
Talk about a vivid description of a livery, by the way.
Oh, that's why I didn't say it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Given a little bit of a help by Kirill Kolobuksov there.
Yeah, forcing his way through. It's a bit crazy. Kolobuksov now getting another position in. This man is a man on a hurry, going side by side with Henrik Lichtenhagen from the Banda Racing team. Banda versus Wild Animals. Let's see who wins this rather wild battle that we're going to get right now. And it is Kolobuksov. I like this version of Kirill Kolobuksov, Peter. He's got some urgency on his mind, and he's carving his way up as if he's got a knife, and he's carving up some Swiss cheese. That is very good.
Oh, and Lichtenhagen in the space of about 5 corners has gone from safely in the feature to out. He was 8th, he's now 11th. Hendrik Lichtenhagen needs to get back into the groove quickly, because if he loses the tail of this little 4-car pack, then he will be out, and he will be watching the feature race here on RaceSpotTV from his sofa. I mean, as consolation prize is maybe that's why it's called the consolation race, Samil.
Yeah.
If you don't get through, you get to watch the feature race with us here on RaceSpotTV.
I mean, it's not a very bad prospect, by the way, which I'm sure all of our viewers on RaceSpotTV will agree about, because the battles here have been crazy, but it's always better to be a part of the field driving. Wisopskaika doing the best that he possibly can, going wheel to wheel right now with Nelson Costa de Souza. Two drivers who've had a very chaotic weekend so far, and the chaos, well, I hope it does not continue, and it hopefully translates into some great symphony, which is what we're seeing right now, nearly being taken on by Lichtenhagen right there. Goodness me, Peter. I mean, it's like when 10 minutes are left in any race in the PorscheSport Carrera Cup, drama just starts to happen.
Yeah, it's like that's at the point where a grenade gets thrown onto the circuit, and it just all of a sudden starts happening very, very quickly. Well, this is why this format here in the PorscheSport.com Carrera Cup is so exciting, because normally the battle, even if it's a close battle like this for 10th position, normally not really that interesting or really that important, but it really matters here. This is the difference of the drivers going into the feature race and scoring the possibility of claiming some big points. If they don't get in the feature race, well, they kind of go home more or less empty-handed, and you don't want to be sitting on the sofa while your competitors are racing around in the 30-minute feature race. It's not a nice feeling. And, well, that's what Hendrik Lichtenhagen is trying to avoid right now as they go over the stripe. 7 minutes and 40 seconds or so to go. Lichtenhagen has got to get a move on here, and Wisopskaika knows it. And whoa, big send, huge send, huge send. Can Hendrik Lichtenhagen get it slowed down? Just about. And I tell you what there, Samil, Wisopskaika saw that coming. He thought, there's no way you're pulling that up in time. I need to give you some room.
Yeah, insightful stuff right there, Peter, because that is what a good driver would do. They recognize when things are not really going their way, and they leave it. But look at the margins. Wow, Lichtenhagen really putting his front bumper right onto the back of Nelson Costa de Souza's car. That, if anything, is a big sign of intent from him. He's been fighting hard. Can the Panda Racing team finally claw one up and get that slot in P number 9, making them one position up ahead of that bubble slot?
Well, whoa, and Costa de Souza, that'll be it. That'll be it. A little nudge there to Nelson Costa de Souza, and he's off into the kitty litter and down the order. We'll try and get an Alcontech.com replay for you. But that is Christmas come early for Henrik Lichtenhagen in the 155 car and for Mike Wiscopsyker. But they've got a bogey coming into this battle. David Ward, with Lewis Ward not far behind as well, but David Ward in the 169, now he's in this battle, so there's still going to be a drop spot.
Oh goodness me, this is all just getting too good here as we come to the last 6 odd minutes. Take a look at this one. Wiscopsyker, I hope I get his name correctly, someday finally getting on the curbs. No!
Whoa!
No, he did not get it correct. What happened was that quote-unquote dreadful chicane has got another victim.
Oh my goodness me, this is... who wants this last spot in the feature? Goodness me. So Lichtenhagen now 9th, David Ward in 10th, but going to have a look. Right, here's our Architect.com replay. De Souza in the catch-up machine. Oh, gets a pretty heavy nudge there from Lichtenhagen under braking. And if you're Nelson Costa de Souza, you have got to be absolutely fizzing right now. You know what's happened to Nelson Costa de Souza is, you know when you get those glass ketchup bottles and the ketchup's not coming out and it's not coming out and you're shaking it, and then all of a sudden half the bottle comes out all over your white trousers. That's exactly what's just happened to him.
Exactly, literally that way. And before the race began, there's been so many drivers on the Discord server literally saying that maybe there should be extra points awarded for the most spectacular jump in the chicane. That's what Alexei Nazov said. That was spectacular, but really not working out in his favor eventually. Wiscopsyker now has been number 12.